or a strong business structure is the one that helps you to increase your volume. It has to help you to increase your volume. What do I mean? I would like also to illustrate that very briefly. What is the requirement for somebody to become a manager? Senior managers. What is the volume that is required? 500. Now, I would like to use that as an example. A manager is supposed to do 500 PVs. But I would like to mention to you that that is the basic that a manager is supposed to do. And I would like to illustrate why it is so important to understand the concept of increasing volume. And why are we talking about that volume? Increasing volume equals to increasing your income. That is key to think about that. A manager is supposed to do 500 PVs. 500 PVs. And how much would the manager doing 500 PVs earn?
60,000.
60,000. I would like you to see the difference between senior managers, a manager that is doing 500 points, and what increase in volume means. Let's say you have 3 managers that are doing 500 points. We're getting how many PVs? 1,500. Let's take a strong manager is someone who is doing 750 points and above. Okay? Why is that important? We said increase in volume equals to increase in income. And that's where we want to attack, because we want people to be excited about the NEOLIFE opportunity. And one of the best ways to get excited is not just about using the product, yes, that is critical, but increasing their money and their income. If you have a manager doing 750 PVs, it means their income is going to be almost 50% more than the manager doing 500 points. That is key, senior manager. So as we go to develop, because for you to move from where you are point A to point B, the first activity that we need to engage in developing managers, but we do not want just to develop managers, we want to develop managers that are excited about the compensation plan, which is the most powerful tool that we want to have. Let's change that, and now we say 750 manager. You still have the same 3 managers, and now they are doing 750 times 3. What is the volume increase? 2,000. We were not selling a step for this person, but we've just gone and told them as a senior manager, developing 3 managers will just take you to 1,500. But a manager that is doing 750, then they are also going to, 3 of them gives you 2,200, and that increases your income by more than 5%, just 5%. You see the difference, eh? So that is what I would like to challenge us, so that we can see how do we move from the 1,000 to the 3,000 to the 2,000 to the 4,000, 5,000, and 6,000, and that is one parameter of getting to determine whether your business is strong or it needs some adjustment, whether your organization is strong, whether it needs some adjustment. And that is what we really want to work on with our leaders, so that we can show them we don't need to go by for the bare minimum, what is required by the compensation plan. The money is not on the 500. The money is on the 750, the 800, and when it gets to 800, then we're selling the senior manager. It's the same thing. So a senior manager, again, we're not also going to do a business of just doing the 1,000 points for the people that we bring into the business. We want also to show them more volume equals to more income, right? Let's say, for example, I'm just trying to illustrate the power of increasing volume. And obviously, increasing volume comes from a network of many people that are moving the product movement. That is key. but not for just doing our single orders and then we work on that. We're going to illustrate that. A senior manager is required to do 1,000 points, right? But let's see what is the difference in a senior manager that does more. If you have a senior manager doing 1,000 points and a senior manager doing 1,500 points, unless there is a senior manager below, you're simply increasing their income by almost 50%. You see the difference? So as we go out to build our business from point A to point B, we need to help the people that we bring into the business so that they can see the money is not what the compensation plan is telling us or is giving us, that is just a baseline. We need to increase it to 1,500. Let's say, for example, a senior manager, we're using the example of a senior manager. A senior manager is doing 1,000 points, and again there are 3 of them. That gives you 3,000 PVs. Let's increase it to 1,500. 1,500 times 3 equals to 4,500. We were not talking about a manager's step. We're just talking about increasing the volume, increasing product movement, and product movement comes from having a strong network of business builders that are moving beyond the 34 points or the 20 points or the 36 points, taking it to 100 points and taking it to 250 points, taking it to 300 to 500 to 700 plus. You see the increase in volume. Let's even now to just close the matter of volume by saying, let's say Stella has sponsored 10 people with our team. And each one of them does, the kit you have is 36, for training. 36. 34. So let's say Stella has 10 of them, and they have just done 34 points. 10 of them, how many PVs are we talking about? 300? No. A kit. A starter kit for 34. And there are 10 of them, and they only do the kit products. That is 300 and? Let's say Stella has seen that volume equals to more money. And Stella goes and sells, each person needs to do 100 points. What is the difference? 10 times 100 equals to 1,000. You see the difference? Let's say Stella now says she is also going to sell the issue of volume to the team, and she says each one of them is going to move 200 PVs and not 100 PVs. So it's 200 times 10 of them, that equals to 2,000. We're simply increasing the volume. She has more money. She takes it to 250. And there are the 10 of them in our team. That becomes 2,500. That is the power of increasing volume, and the money is increasing. So as we go to the teams, we really need to hammer that into them, that it's their benefit, it's not about us, they are earning more money. And if somebody is moving a stock of 200 PVs or 250, you cannot compare the profit they are making for moving 100. But obviously, it's not about the personal transaction they are making, it's about how many people they have in their team that is doing those little activities. Like we said, Stella could have as well said, she's going to move the 2,000 QPVs, personal PVs, very easily, because she is very good in products. But she's also going to look at, will that be sustainable? She needs to have an organization, and an organization of 10 people who are moving that. And you can imagine if now the 10 people become like her, moving at 2,500 plus their teams, we're talking about over 25,000 PVs. So that is a strong business organization. I wanted to give you a picture of what we say when we say we need to have a strong business organization that has a network of business builders that are moving those little PVs, and then volume increases, your money increases, and the money of the person that you are working with is also increasing, and automatically as the leader, your money simply increases to the level that you never imagined. That is one thing I would like you to put in our hearts. Increasing volume is going to increase the income of your team. The second thing that I wanted to mention about a strong business organization, actually we've attacked the two of them. One is increasing volume. That the point number two for a strong business organization is one that helps you to increase your income and the income of the people that you bring in your organization. Increase in income. Number three, a strong business organization is one that helps you to create excitement at the lower levels. And what triggers the excitement at the lower levels? One still is the increase of income. That is important. So that excitement simply means we're not going to talk about just us here, and we've already indicated we are going for the 6,000 PVs, but we're talking about helping the people that are below here, the lower levels here, to increase their income. And that brings me to the other point. A strong business organization is one that has been built deep and wide. So senior managers, for us to increase the volume, for the money to increase, for the excitement to be there, then we need to have a model of business that we're building it deep and wide. Depth, as we know it, is stability. And we say, or you say, you've not sponsored until you help somebody, the person you sponsor to sponsor, right? So we have number one here, we have number two, we have number three, we have number four, we have number five. Senior manager, I hope it is simple. Just trying to give some little concept. So here you have your 6,000. So you sponsor, you help them to sponsor, you teach them to sponsor, to show the other people to sponsor, then you duplicate, and then you develop. It's a process from perspective. So what is building wide? Wide equals to team sponsoring. So when you're building, depth equals to team sponsoring. So once you sponsor, you're showing, you're teaching, you're developing, and you're helping them to make steps. So in this case, the illustration that I've drawn here, what does it mean? To really build your business deep so that it can move from point A to point B. I would like us to think about going to the fifth level there, because today we said we're going to activate a mindset of greatness. And a mind of greatness means you need to go to the fifth level. And I would like you as a senior manager to assume number 5 down there is a senior manager. I would like you to assume number 5 here, because we need to visualize and live it, such that number 5 here, either a manager, we can even say is a manager that is doing the 500 points or the 750 points, because we need to stop the 500 story. Okay? We need to think, because we do the connection. Assume number 5 here is already a manager. You can imagine number 4 is going to be a senior manager. Number 3, an executive manager. And maybe number 2, a strong executive manager doing 3,000 PVs. And then you have your number 1 here, a strong director doing 6,000 PVs. You see the stability we're talking about? So that's what it's not about us, it's about how many senior managers am I developing in my team, which will be a component of managers that we are building and developing, and then the step become automatic. So senior manager, we're giving you the bigger picture, but I would like you to go and activate yourself and say, if you're going to take it to 3,000, then you need at least to land at 3 levels deep. By the time you get into 5 levels deep, just one leg, then we're talking about quite a lot of PVs and a lot of money. And the excitement that I was talking about is the purpose I've drawn here. We have a manager here doing 750 points. 750 points. So if 500 is giving you 60,000, so we're talking about 750 will be giving you between 90 and 100,000. That is a strong manager. We have a senior manager here doing around 1,500 because we said we are not doing 1,000, right? You have an executive manager here doing plus 2,000. So you see the excitement that we are talking about. People don't leave NEOLIFE or any network because they're earning more money. They will quit or get discouraged when they are not making enough money. And that is what we need to really work on, the volume aspect of it. But then we said we also need to build our business wide. Wide simply means personal sponsoring, and that is important. Personal sponsoring is everything, but now we need to change it. We need also to say, looking at the incentives, and the incentive I've seen from your team leaders, that they have also activated the 3 in 30 factor. So personal sponsoring is not one person, but we said we are going to take it to a 3 factor and a 6 factor, right? So personal sponsoring equals to 3 in 30. And 3 in 30 obviously equals to managers. That is what we want to really emphasize our senior managers, that if we have to move from point A to point B, from 1,000 to 2,500, 3,000 plus, we really need to act on sponsoring, but not just sponsoring, doing a 3 in 30, because that increases your volume. How? 3 people doing 34 points, that is how many PVs? 34 times 3? How many? 102. 3 people doing 100 points, that is 300 plus yours. So that is the kind of sponsoring activity that I wanted to activate or to talk about. And just talking about sponsoring, I would like each one of you to give yourself a hearty clap, because last month, Team Uganda sponsored the most number of people we've not sponsored for more than 3 years. So that means already the stage is set for greatness. And that was just preparation. Talking to some of you and what your leaders have just mentioned today when you were chatting about it. That is just the smallest number that we're going to have, because this month the target is doing 3 times. Can you imagine? It's simple. Whatever it is we did last month, we only need to do twice or 3 times, and it starts with you senior managers. If it has to change, it's not up to the leaders. It's not up to the president team members, the Ruby directors, the Sapphire directors. They are already activated it, and today we urging you, when you're told to sponsor 3, that is the only thing you need to disagree with your upline. You're given 3, you tell them you are going for how many? 6. Don't worry, if you go for 6, it's going to land at 4. You see, eh? But if you target 3, then it's going to be 1 or 2. So we need to activate the 6 number, and you see what it's going to do in your business. So that is the sponsoring that we are talking about. And talking about sponsoring, senior manager, you say today we're going to keep it short and clear. How many people should a senior manager sponsor every month? Senior managers. There was a senior manager here. How many are you supposed to sponsor? 21. Let's appreciate her. So basically she is a Sapphire director. One team member is supposed to sponsor how many? 20 in 30. So I just like that. That is the mindset we are talking about today. Can you imagine what will happen if you did 21 and yet For us to move from point A as a senior manager, we need to at least have your 3 in 30, and your team needs to sponsor 10 people. Can you imagine? That will help you to be consistent, and I would like to tell you what that means. 10 people is for senior manager. You can write that down. 10 for senior manager. Managers below you will need to sponsor 5, obviously including their personal sponsoring. And directors will need to sponsor 15. Sapphire directors will have their 20 plus. But now even president team members will have their 30 in 30. But you see, we want to activate the 30 in 30, eh? So, senior managers, what is the value of you sponsoring 10 people? Let's say in the month of March, you're sponsoring 10 people. March next year, each one of us seated here should have at least 120 people that they have brought within the organization. You do your 3 in 30, 3 of them, 3 times 12 is 36. But 10 is a team. And that's what we want to emphasize today, because that team is where you get your volume, is where their money increases, where the steps will come from, and it's where also your money and your next step is going to come from. So let's also do, what is the value of the 10 people and what is it going to do in your business? Now, all the people you bring into your organization, 50% of them should step up to manager. 50%, half of them. Let's do it. 50% of 60 is, 50% of 120 is 60. So 60 times 500. 30? How many? No, 60 times 500 PVs. You know, 50% is managers. So that is 60 managers out of the 120, and each manager is doing 500 points. How many PVs are those? 30,000. So can you imagine, senior managers, if we simply went to activate the 10 factor in your sponsoring activity, and you know how simple now it is. Your team already has a system of 3 in 30. Do you know the 10 of them, you only need 3 people in your team that are doing 3 in 30. You only need 3 people. That's why we need to go and identify who are the 3 people in my team that I want to grow with, who will do a 3 in 30, and you already have your 9 people in your team. You see the numbers, eh? Just 3 of them out of your own organization, each your nursery, and they do a 3 in 30, then you have your 10 people, and the 10 people, every month, they are going to give you 30,000 PVs by next year, March, and before. But again, 20% of all the people you bring into your business, senior manager, will become senior managers. So, 20% of 120 is how many people? We have teachers in house? 20%. That is 24. 24. Okay. A senior manager is supposed to do how many PVs? 1,000. So 1,000 times 24. So 24,000 plus 30,000, we're getting 54,000. 54? Which step will that be? 50,000. You can see the possibility, eh? Already at 50,000 business, and we're not even going to go to executive manager. The number for executive manager is 10%. So let's even say the 54,000, and you just do again half of that. We are not going by the 50, we're going by 25%. We're not going by the 20% for senior manager, we go by 10%. Every senior manager seated here and the executive manager, by next year or even before, none of you will be doing less than 30,000 PVs. Do you believe we can? I would like you to write the 30,000 equals to $3,000. What is the exchange rate? I'm going to work with my sister yesterday. 3,000 times. What is the exchange rate? 3,700 or 600? 3,000? Let's multiply. 3,000 times 36. So we're talking about the possibility of each one of us seated here earning over 10 million Uganda shillings. 8 to 10 million Uganda shillings. You see the possibility? We only need to believe today and go and put in the work that we're supposed to put, and then we're going to get the reward of the things that we're talking about here. And remember, that's where faith comes in. Believing in something you've not seen. But it's not just blind faith, because some of the leaders seated here are earning double, 3 times the money that we are talking about. So we're not just going to be, how is that possible? They can show it, and at times they have gone through their back offices and told you the money that we were talking about is a reality. You only need to go and do the work. So remember, a strong business organization, you know your organization, you know the people that you need to work with. You've already set a target of 6,000, and we said we are going to land at 2,000 to 3,000 so that we can get at 6,000. And we said a strong business structure is anchored on increasing volume. Number one, increasing volume, the value of it, the money increases. Number three, as the money increases and the volume increases, it triggers consistency. So the other aspect of a strong business structure is consistent. And if you want to be consistent and the people that we are bringing to the business are consistent, then we need to be more than product movers or sellers of products. We need to sell the opportunity more to people so that they can go and make money. We will not move from point A to point B if we are only encouraging our teams to sell products. Okay? We need to encourage them to look for business builders, and business builders are people that are doing their 3 in 30, stepping up to managers, stepping up to senior managers, increasing their volume and making the next step, and the next step doing it consistently, or they move to the next level. That consistency also ensures you also have retention in your team. So consistency is everything. No one leaves if they are earning more money. No one leaves the business when they are consistent. And no one leaves the business when they are taking the next step. And that is the final thing about a strong business structure. Once you build it deep and wide, volume increases because your organization is increasing, money is increasing, then there is consistency, there is retention, and the step become automatic. The step become automatic. Look at the numbers that we have just talked about, the senior manager to 54,000. We never mentioned about a 3 roof. We mentioned it as a by the way. So the step will come automatic when we build a strong organization of excited people that we are going to show them to have a network of people. A manager should have 5 people every month, like we mentioned. A senior manager, 10 people, and I do not even want to go beyond that number. As we do that, then I believe we're going to automatically move from where we are to the next level. It's about 3 in 30. It's about manager development, and not just managers that are consistently qualifying at the lower levels. And I believe Team Uganda our senior managers. Let me see again by show of hand how many senior managers now are in-house. Please give it up. "15 senior managers. 15 senior managers. I know this month, the 15 senior managers we have in-house are going to become executive managers. Who is ready for that? I know the senior managers that we have, the 15 executive managers we're going to have in the month of March, and uplights we are here. Please, let's go and make sure, work with them, and I'm sure by the time we get to the next step session, you're going to see compelling reasons why I believe that the 15 of you are going to become executive managers this month. And I know once you become an executive manager, the month of March, the 15 of you in the month of April, you're going to become qualified directors who are not just doing 4,000, but they are doing 6,000 PVs. Hello? Can you imagine 1 month, April, we're targeting 15 new directors in Uganda? For those who are here. Can you imagine it? That is the possibility we see in you. And the executive managers that are here today, I know it's just a matter of time. By the 26th of this month, you will have already done your 4,000. You'll be working towards your 6,000 PVs. Hello? Hello. And just to help me conclude this discussion, I would like to invite a gentleman that I know truly loves Uganda and East Africa.